Pre-accident, Derek was very outgoing, college student down in DC, um, and I love basketball. I was fortunate enough to be on two state championship basketball teams, and I was on a soccer team that won Easterns, and I was a three sport athlete, always playing something, always doing something. If not, I was fishing during the winter, snowmobiling, stuff like that, skiing. Very active, always doing something. Currently a C6, C7 quadriplegic with a traumatic brain injury affecting my short term memory. Um, I acquired this spinal cord injury in a diving accident on July 23rd, 2005 in Ocean City, New Jersey. I was there with some of my friends. We were on vacation, and I was there literally 5 minutes before I decided to go for a swim and dove in the ocean like Baywatch style, ran into the water, and hit my head on a sandbar, knocked me unconscious, make me swallow salt water, and eventually break my neck at C6, C7. And so there I lay in the water, lifeless, engulfing my lungs with salt water. And from there, I was still conscious at that point, but some people on the beach had told the medical people there to send me to a trauma unit, which I did. So I went to Atlantic City Trauma Unit, and while I was there, I was unconscious. I had no recollection of what happened or anything. I was pretty much lifeless at that point. And so they were just a matter of fighting to save my life at that point. Like, there was no rehab, wasn't even in the picture. Me coming home wasn't in the picture or anything. What I'm doing today was not in the picture at that moment. At that moment, it was do anything to keep me alive. And so my parents and my family knew if they were going to keep me alive, it was not to keep me in New Jersey. They had to airlift me out of there and get me to Boston where they could handle me because they were not equipped in Atlantic City at all. So from there, they found the window of opportunity to airlift me to Mass General, and so they flew me in a plane that had only one seat available for my mom. Everything else in the cockpit was full of like supplies to keep me alive, and then the medic people that were in the plane. And so we took the flight from Atlantic City to Mass General, and they took me straight to Mass General, and then made sure everything was alright, all my tubes were hooked up. At this point, I was still had no recollection of what happened or what was going on. My mom was my lifeline at that point. She was the only person that could talk for me, do anything for me. I praise God, like, thanks she was there because I don't know where I would be if she wasn't. And so when I moved back to Maine, it was kind of hectic. I hadn't really figured out where I was going to do my rehab, what I was going to continue, because I really knew I needed to continue something. I just didn't know what it was. And I found a facility down Rockland. It's called Maine Center for Integrated Rehab. I went there. Well, and at first it was 5 days a week, and then moved to 3. But I went down there and did physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy because I needed the speech because I hadn't talked and my voice was really weak. My memory wasn't that good, so I did speech while I was there.
Even though Derek's life has been subjected to drastic change, one thing has remained constant: his passion for photography. a passion that he expressed during our interview.
I did photography before my accident because it kind of went hand in hand with architecture, really. But I wasn't as in depth into it as I am now. I mean, it's something I can still do and have a passion towards doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I enjoy doing it.
What made you become a photographer in the first place? What kind of caught your eye about it?
I've always been a very abstract way of thinking and seeing things. Like, because before my accident, if I was to take a photograph of something like a stone wall or a flagpole, I was a person that would lay on the ground, look up at the flagpole, and that's how I would capture a flagpole. But now, being in a wheelchair, I can't do that as easy, but I'll find shots that fit my, like, way I am sitting in a chair, like, because my point of view is not the same as somebody who's walking around. They're gonna look at things much different than me when I'm sitting in a wheelchair. So yeah, that part of it's changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a very abstract photographer. I just like taking photographs of people and animals and stuff like that. I'd rather take like still stuff like flagpoles, flowers, buildings, fences, and stuff like that. Stuff where I don't have to look this way, smile, because that part really irritates me. I really dislike doing that. So if I can find stuff that's stationary to photograph, I'd rather do that.
Now, I'm assuming that, your current situation after the accident has affected your photography, your work. Just like, if you look at, other artists, current situations in their lives affect their work, painters.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see your subject matters change dramatically, or?
Well, it's funny you said that, because if you looked at my portfolio, you could easily look at it, and without me telling you what was previously taken before my accident and what I'd been taken after my accident, it's like almost night and day, really. The types of work, yeah.
What did the fundraisers, what were they exactly?
Well, we did, one was we do it every year. It's in Linkville Beach. It's called Dip for Derek. And people run into the ocean and jump out every New Year's Day. Yeah, and we've done a potluck dinner over at the Elk Club to raise money for the iBot. And we also did another they did a basketball tournament over at the gym at the Camden High School, Camden Rockport, to a basketball tournament. That was when I was in the hospital, so I wasn't even able to go. But they did it. And just like little stuff, like church has been really helpful for me. I mean, I can't even start. It's really so many people. Like, I could do a whole tape on just thanking people, because that's how big the list is.